Alright, hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I am back again. So I tried to record this video earlier, so I'm gonna record it again and hopefully y'all should be able to see the full thing. I thought I was charging it, but apparently I was not, but it's all good. But anyway, I did want to say thank you guys for tuning into this video. This one is not going to be too long. I did just want to talk about a topic that I got, and we'll probably do a part 2, but I also want to talk about an instant manifestation miracle that I actually received that I did want to share with you guys, that I thought was pretty amazing. I was really excited about but I did want to let you guys know, if this is you guys' first time watching me, my name is Joy, and I've been dealing with narcissists since 2006, and since 2017 I have been helping former victims, now survivors, heal, move on, and recover after dealing with narcissistic abuse. So you guys, I did want to touch on a topic actually that I got from a viewer and a subscriber. Basically, you know, they were just asking because apparently, you know, this individual was dealing with a female narcissist. This is a male. He's dealing with a female narcissist, and he basically said that he found out that the female narcissist is getting married, and you know, he has a child with this female narc. I guess they have been together for like 10 years, and I know how that can be difficult to handle and to understand and overcome those challenges that comes with that, because of, you know, the history, the memories, you know, the children, and you know, the legalities and assets and stuff like that. So that's a little bit more difficult to let go and, you know, to work through. But nonetheless, the gentleman, he asked me, he's like, hey, Joy, how do you let go of the hurt and the pain of the narcissist to get in a new relationship and not to feel like a fraud? So that's a really good question, honestly. You know, many people have asked me that, and one of the things that has helped me personally is to accept the situation for what it is. You know, kind of just making peace with it. You know, try my best not to resist against it, and you know, beginning to focus on my own hurt and pain that I'm dealing with. So try to work through whatever specifically I feel. So if it's, you know, sadness, loneliness, insecurities, anger, resentment, I try to work through that, you know, and you know, also try to get rid of things that remind me of the narcissist. You know, and I know the individual had a child, so you know, that's the child, so of course the narcissist is always gonna be on his mind. And even the fact that he got the female narc got married is another insult to injury, because a lot of times this gentleman, he's probably thinking like, oh, it was me. Oh, why is it that the narcissist can get with someone and I'm still single? You know, a lot of times the narcissist likes to make it look like, since they're in another relationship and maybe that gentleman is single, you know, a lot of times the narcissist likes to make it seem like, oh, he is the problem because he's not with anyone, and that's not really the case. A lot of times the thing is the fact that the narcissist can't be alone. They do have to have supply at all time, because you know, if they are alone, then they will begin to wallow in their you know, in their misery. And you guys know what is the saying, misery loves company, right? So it's very much so true. But you know, that is something to be aware of. But you know, some other things what you can do to let go of the hurt and pain is just remember, you know, how the narcissist treated you. You know, remember the hurt that you dealt with. Remember the betrayal. Remember the lies, the cheating, the stealing that you experienced. Remember that the narcissist is going to do that to the new victim. You know, you have to look at it like, okay, you know, they're taking this problem away from me. They're taking this burden away from me, because, you know, and I know the love bombing stage is what gets us, right? Because we're so focused on that, and we try to remember the good stuff, because you probably do love this narcissist, but you also have to remember the negative stuff that they did. And that actually reminds me of an individual. This was a female. She reached out to me because she was dealing with a male narc, and she actually had some children with this narcissist as well. And we did sessions with each other for quite some time, actually a couple months. We would do 2-hour sessions, and I really did enjoy it. This was like back in 2022. We did video sessions because she was actually in another country. And I was just so honored because I was just like, that's really amazing. The fact that, you know, people listen to me like from all over the world. You know, this is YouTube, but it's just like, wow, like, you know, there's not just narcissists in the US, but narcissists are worldwide. And to me, it's just crazy. It doesn't matter where you are, the narcissist is still the same. It doesn't matter which country or anything like that. So I find that to be pretty interesting. But yeah, so like we would do sessions and stuff like that for 2 hours, and it was quite a bit to, you know, hearing her out. And but I did enjoy it because I resonated with it. I understood it because not only was she dealing with a male narc that she had kids with, but she also had a mother that was a female narcissist. So, and I resonated with that because my auntie that I lived with for 5 years was a narcissist. So, you know, that was something in of its own. But long story short, you know, we would have our sessions, and she would tell me about things, and I'm hearing her out. You know, we're gaining understanding, we're gaining validation and things like that. But when it was time to the letting go part, the releasing, the surrendering, the moving on, she wasn't ready, and that's perfectly fine. You know, you're not always going to be ready to let go of what the narcissist has done to you. Now, I know her biggest thing was the anger aspect. Now, it's understandable because when you have been betrayed, when you've been let down, or when you've been abused, or you felt like, you know, you were mishandled, or you felt like you were taken advantage of, it definitely, you were going to be angry. You felt like you were played, or you felt like you were mistreated. It's normal to feel angry. But one of the things that I wanted to remind her, of course, take your anger out in a safe way, right? You know, you don't want to get in trouble or anything like that, because I know that she mentioned that she was doing things out in the public, and I'm like, hey, remember, you have kids, like, you know, and stuff like that. And you know, you want to be a role model for your babies, even though you may feel like you're not ready and stuff like that. But the other aspect was, she's like, well, hey, Joy, how do I get rid of these memories? How do I let go of this pain? How do I let go of this hurt? How do I let go of this bitterness? And I was saying, for the pain and the hurt, write down, or, you know, how do I let this go? Write down what this person has done to you in a negative way. All the negative stuff, all the bad stuff, all the horrific stuff, everything he said to you, everything he did to you, all of that. Write it down so you can see it. And whenever you are like missing the narcissist, or maybe wanting them back, or maybe trying to reconcile, or try to, you know, look back and feel nostalgia, you look at what happened, and then you remind yourself, and you're like, oh, okay. Now, I will tell you, she did not do this exercise with me. There was an exercise that I had planned for us, and she could not bring herself to do it. She couldn't. And to me, I wasn't really surprised. It is kind of a normal thing when it comes to people that have been, you know, enduring abuse. Because a lot of time it's that Stockholm syndrome thingy, where it's just like, you know, you have an attachment to your abuser. You know, so you do have that. So sometimes you have that trauma bond to your abuser, right? And so long story short, it just sounds like she just wasn't ready to move on. She was still, of course, angry, but just maybe still having hope. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is what I said in the other video before it stopped recording. But I think, I may not be right, but I felt that something inside of her, even though he had did all this stuff, something inside of her still wanted the narcissist, or still wanted to maybe see if it can work, or still had some sort of hope. And I'm only saying that because that was me many years ago, and I did have another person that did admit the same thing. They were like, hey, you know, even though the narcissist did all this stuff to me and things like that, they still kind of wanted to be with them low key, So that was the thing. And it's just, once you're honest with yourself, then, that's another part of the recovery process. Because once you kind of, you hold on to, it could be protection mechanism or different barriers or whatever the case is, or different blocks. You kind of hold up that illusion and you're just like, oh, I really want to move on, but sometimes you don't, or oh, I'm done with this, I'm not gonna think about it, or oh, he did this, she did this, they did that, whatever, but secretly you still want to be with them. So it honestly, it's just a matter of just being honest with yourself. That's another way you can let go. Or in this individual's case where he's seen the narcissist get married, he can just be like, well, hey, I wanted to get married to the narcissist. He that sounds like something maybe he did at that point in time. Maybe he didn't know that they were a narc, but he probably felt because they had a kid that they were going to get married, and maybe he had goals and dreams and hopes and wishes, and invested a lot of it into this relationship, into they had a child. You might think, oh, if I have a child with someone, I have to be with them for the rest of my life. He probably thought that he was going to be with this person for the rest of his life, but now he sees that the narcissist is getting married to someone else. So of course that's devastating to him. That's hurtful for him, and he's saying like, hey, he feels like if he's gonna get in a new relationship, he feels like he's being a fraud. So my thing is, it's like, you're not being a fraud if you can acknowledge why you want to be in a new relationship. Because I do find a lot of times people want to be in a new relationship after they find out that the narcissist is getting married, or the narcissist moved in with someone, is because they don't want to feel alone, or they may feel like they don't want to look like they're the problem, or it could be an ego thing. They could be trying to get back at the narcissist, maybe trying to make them jealous and stuff like that. Or it could also just be again, they could be trying to cover up the hurt and the pain. So I would just say, just find out why you want to be in a relationship. Now, if you are recovered, if you are like, I'm good, I don't think about the narcissist, I don't want them back, I don't secretly hope for them, I don't secretly still want to be with them, even though I say that I hate them, even though I said like all this stuff, as long as your intentions are good, you're not a fraud. But if you secretly like, or because I think he said he's like watches the Facebook, he's following the Narc still and wanting like updates and checkups and stuff like that, wanting to know what the narcissist is doing. Once you stop doing stuff like that, then and you work through the different emotions that you could be feeling, because, and that's the other aspect, there's a lot of grieving that's gonna need to take place, because I know a lot of times it's not easy, healing. It's not. Nobody wants to do it. It's it's not cute. it's hurtful, it's lonely, it's sad, it's devastating, it's horrific. Nobody wants to heal or grieve or do the inner work, but it's a very essential part on your journey to recovery, right? And it takes courage. It really does. It's definitely something that I don't wish on anyone, but it is something, unfortunately, if you've been abused, or if you have had a narcissistic figure in your life, then you have to go through that. And the good thing is that you don't have to go at it alone, which I do recommend. If you're like, hey, you are wanting to go through that process, join a support group, talk to a therapist, talk to a coach, talk to a narcissist abuse coach like myself, or anyone else that you feel comfortable with that can help you to work through what it is that you're dealing with, help you to understand the situation, help you to change your mindset, help you to be open to working on your recovery, right? Doing the inner work and guiding you through that inner work, right? And helping you through those emotions, or helping you to understand things and get clarity and get confirmation and get validation and feel encouraged and get upliftment and get inspired, whatever you need to feel, or however you need to be best supported. If you just need someone to listen to you. And that's what I think the person that reached out to me, I think she just wanted someone to listen to. And I do that too. If you get a session with me, I'll just listen, because a lot of times, because it depends on the person, because a lot of times I do assign like worksheets and segments and different things. That's because I like to do the sessions based off of what people want. or like people want to learn skills, or they just want to learn new ways of thinking, that mindset, or they just want someone to listen. Sometimes people just want someone to listen to them. That's it. Or sometimes people want help with their inner healing, or they want to learn new skills, or they want to learn how to do this. They want to learn through PTSD or CPTSD or inner healing trauma, or anger, or grieving, or sadness, or loneliness, or whatever insecurity that, or challenge or obstacle that's going on, different traumas that occurred, so it's different for everybody. It's not the same. So whatever the case may be, but yeah, I would just say that letting go of the narcissist, you have to, I always tell people, you have to take the focus off of the narcissist and you have to put it back on yourself. So I want you guys to remember that always. But yeah, you won't be a fraud if you're going to be with someone for the right reasons. Like I said, if you are trying to cover up the sadness you feel, the loneliness you feel, the hurt, the resentment, the anger you feel, then that's the wrong reason, because you're trying to get back at the narcissist, and you could be trying to use someone in order to do so. And that's, you don't want to do that. But spend time alone. I'm telling you, find out what's you need to work through and move past it, right? But once you, and that's the other part, pick a cutoff date for your recovery, right? I say this because sometimes people will stay in anxiety, or they'll stay in depression, or they'll stay in panic mode, or they'll stay in fear, and maybe they'll stay in isolation for years and years and years and years. And they're like, well, Joy, I've done this, I've done that, and I still can't get over the narcissist, or I still can't let it go, or I still can't move on. You have to pick a cutoff time. So my cutoff time was 2 years, and even then you'll still have ups and downs, and you'll still have your times where you'll have relapses. You'll have to kind of regroup. You may have to kind of reassess yourself, and you may have distractions along the way. You may have people that remind you of the narcissist. You may have memories. You could even have children, so you have to learn how to dissociate yourself and detach, and not take things personal, and understand what you're dealing with, right? So once you learn the type of person you're dealing with, then you can understand their behaviors, and you will kind of learn how to you'll learn how to deal, or how to operate, and how to conduct yourself around that person, if that makes sense. So yeah, but give yourself time. So if it's 2 years, if it's 3 years, 5 years, you want to give yourself as much time as you need, and that's why I always say, me personally, I wish I would have talked to someone that dealt with narcissistic abuse, because sometimes when you don't talk to someone that deals with narcissistic abuse, people will either judge you, or they'll blame you, they'll make fun of you, they'll criticize you, because they don't even know what you're talking about. They don't know what you've been through. But a person that has gone through what you've gone through, they know exactly what you're talking about, so they can best help you in a timely manner. But again, I don't rush it, of course, but give it time, and then after you have that cutoff time, then you can go ahead and move on. And again, no judgment. I know someone that was dealing with a narc, and they stated that they had started talking to someone else, and of course they hadn't moved on from that individual, and apparently they was just using that person for attention. People want attention, people love it. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. I personally am just like, I'm always trying to hide myself, but just make sure it's for the right reasons. That's what I would say. If you're trying, because there's nothing wrong with getting into a new relationship, and actually I would recommend getting into a new relationship after the narcissist, because you don't want to allow the narcissist to change you to where you become different, and you're just like, a hermit. You don't want to be around people. You're a loner all the time. There's nothing wrong with recharging, but getting back out there, that's a part of the healing process as well. It's like meet new people, socialize, even if it's not even a new relationship, it could be new friends, new surroundings, new environments, new communities, new groups, stuff like that. So do be mindful of that. But hopefully that's helpful though. But we'll come back to that again. We'll come back. You guys got to let me know what you think. So that's how you can let go of the hurt and the pain. And try your best not to compare yourself to the narcissist, because whatever they're doing, remember, it's for manipulation reasons. It's for it's out of a lot of times convenience. It could be out of just to stroke their ego, and they could be trying to latch on to something when it comes to that new supply. And like I said, they could also be trying to get back at you as well, and they also may have a point to prove. Like I said, they probably want to make it seem like it's that person's fault because they're getting married and that person is single, because that's, like I said, that happens quite a bit. So yeah, I would just say, just try your best to ignore what the narcissist is doing and just focus on your child, focus on yourself, and just do your own thing. You have to make your healing number one, make your children number one, and then once you work through all those emotions and work through all those challenges and obstacles, then you can go ahead and be with your next person, your next relationship or friendship or whatever the case is. So hopefully that was helpful, but we'll come back. But I did just want to touch on real quick, and we'll also do a part 2 on this, because honestly, you guys, I'm like super amazed, and I'm so grateful to God, because he just never seems to amaze me. And you guys will really start to understand why I talk about him all the time, because he really is just awesome. And I'm just really learning that God really does want the best for us. Like whatever we want, as long as it's like the best intentions, it's not trying to harm anybody or hurt anybody. God wants what he wants, and God really cares about us, especially if we do good and we have a good heart. And like I said, we're not out here trying to do nothing crazy. But long story short, I just wanted to share you guys a quick story that I did. And mind you guys, I have been doing this type of stuff for quite some time. Like I've been studying stuff like the law of attraction, law of assumption, the love gal, Jay Ducey, Coop Blackston. Those are like some guys that I follow, like super bomb, super good, Esther Hicks, like all that stuff is amazing. And I'll link the video below, because this is something that I was just like, bro, like this stuff is so amazing, and this stuff really works, like it's crazy. So I just randomly said, just because you just be doing your thing, you don't even be thinking too much of it, but I was just like, thank you God for blessing me with the extra $800 tomorrow. I literally said that before I went to bed. Like I kid you not, that was on Monday. That was Monday, May the 12th, right? I literally just said that, and I wasn't thinking much of it. I wasn't thinking like, oh, how's this gonna happen, where's it gonna come from? Like I wasn't thinking about that. I was like tired, and I was just like, whatever, like And just randomly, you guys, I woke up to an email, and because like what happened was I had said that, and I went to sleep, and I had got up. I was like doing my daily routine, and I went out and on about my day. And and I just happened to look at my phone, y'all, and guess what I seen on my phone? Like it said, I'm gonna read it to y'all because I'm gonna show y'all proof. It said that where is it? Okay, so after I said that, y'all, the next day it says, we are contacting you regarding your order. So I had a trip planned, y'all. I was supposed to go on a trip. This was back in 2022, mind you. And what's crazy, it's literally the you wouldn't be able to fathom. So I had booked this trip, and I was like super excited to go. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm about to go on this trip, blah blah, right? So mind you, the airline canceled the trip, like, and it's pretty rare. Like usually airlines don't be canceling trips. It's usually like the customer would cancel the trip, but the airline actually canceled the trip. And I'm sitting here like, bro, like, what's up? So they canceled the trip, and so they sent me an email. And mind you, I'm saying like, okay, so like I need a refund because I paid for a trip and I'm not going, and like, yeah, I need a refund. So I called the travel agency, and they was giving me a difficult time. They was actually in another country, so it was hard for me to understand what they was saying. So I'm sitting here like, bro, I speak English, I don't know what they're speaking like, because I literally like talking to them, trying to explain my situation, and it was just crazy. So they kept saying that like, okay, we'll give you a credit, we'll give you a refund and stuff like that. And then they were like, oh no, you got to contact the airline. I'm calling the airline. They're like, no, you got to call the travel agency. And they just kept saying like, oh, you're out of the time frame, we can't do it, and this and this and that. And literally, y'all, when I tell you, I was doing this for like probably like a week or two. I just kept adding. I think I had revisited again back in like 2023. I want to say I had like tried to contact them again. And then I was like, you know what? Just forget it. I was like, forget it. Like, I'm not going to think about it. I don't want it. Like, whatever. So when I tell you, after I had said that prayer on Monday, the next day I got this email, and it says, we understand that you have requested a refund directly from the airline without involving us. It says, consequently, we have received a refund of $829.97 USD from the airline for your booking. So when I tell y'all how God worked, like, and it says, although we attempted to transfer the amount to your original payment method, it says we are unable to complete the transaction, blah, blah, blah. They says it appears that more than a year has passed since your original booking date, which is likely to cause an issue. And then there was, long story short, saying, oh, okay, in order to process, there's like update your card information, blah, 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 right? So I was just, but look at this though. This is what it says. See? So I was looking like, that's crazy. And it was literally the next day, because I had did it Monday, May the 12th. And this was, I got this email May the 13th. Look at the date. Look at the date. You see, hold on. Without showing too much details, you feel me? Look, you see the date? Look, isn't that crazy? That is so crazy, y'all. So, and then, so I updated my details. That's crazy. And it says you have received a payment from, the airline. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that it was done. Like, I didn't think I was ever gonna get it. And I literally said that I wanted that amount, and it came. Like, and I'm just only saying that because I'm just letting you guys know, like, God is real. Like I said, as long as you have the best intentions, you do good, you mean well to people, and you have something that you want, and you pray with the best intentions, God is gonna give you your heart's desires. So don't give up on God, don't give up on yourself, and just know that you deserve to live good. You deserve a good life. And even if you've been through narcissistic abuse, you still deserve the best. So I'm just like, God, thank you. Because that's crazy to me, y'all. Like, I literally didn't think I was going to hear from them again. I ain't going to lie. I didn't think I was going to hear from them again. Look, this is what it says right here. Look here. This is what it say. Look, see that? Isn't that crazy? I literally said it like at night, and it came in the morning. So that's just inspiration for y'all. But hopefully, just if you wish for something, y'all, like, just believe it and it'll come. Like, you shall receive. And you mean well, like, that's insane. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Just keep the faith, keep positive, keep strong, and just know that God has your back. If you guys want to learn more, if you want any support from me, or any guidance, or any advice, any confirmation, any clarity, anything, reach out to me, book a session if you want to talk to me. Anything regarding like God or law of attraction, or mental health support, or anything regarding dealing with the narcissist, I'm here for you. Anything that I can do, I would love to be there for you, because I know I really didn't have, I mean, I had a few folks around, but nobody really dealt with the abuse like how I did. So it's kind of, it's tough. But anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you all in the next video.